Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Today is Tuesday, and it's a wonderful start to the week. Well, hopefully it is. You know, it's been a good start to the week for you, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had a great weekend. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend, too. This show, man, it has been growing and going on for a while now, and it's gotten to a point where your boy's getting recognized. I won't lie to you. It's kind of weird. It is. It's a little weird. Like when you think about my show, it's not the biggest show. It's not, I'm not on any crazy high level or anything like that. And I'm humbled to that. I don't sit there and gloat and things like that. I don't really openly even talk about my podcast with other people, just for the simple fact that if you find out about my podcast, you do. And, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, I know my pod is not for everybody. I know that it's something where, some people might like it. Some people don't. Some people find it offensive. Some people find it funny. Some people don't find it funny. Some people find me annoying. Some people find me charming. It just, thinking about all these things, there was a time where over the weekend, I went to a birthday party for a best friend of mine. And, I got recognized at this birthday party. They were like, "Hey, I know you from TikTok." And I was just like, wait a minute. Me? Little old me? Oh, okay. Well, what's up? How's it going? And it was definitely like a revelation moment. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times where I'm going through, I still work a job. I'm still normal. I still put my pants on one leg at a time. And it's one of those things where, like, when I am, I guess, not filming and I'm not, in the, I guess, I don't know. Because I don't ever really have a persona. That's just not me. Like, the way that I am on the show is the way that I am in person. And it's so I guess when I kind of step out on stage, if you will, and then when I step off that, proverbial stage, if you will, I just treat myself like a normal person. Like, I'm just like y'all. I'm just a normal ass dude. And when people recognize me as if like I'm bigger than I actually am, don't get me wrong, it feels nice. It feels nice. But at the same time, it's just like, it's a little weird. I'm just like, whoa, what the hell? Like, that's so cool. You recognize me from TikTok, but like, yo, I ain't nobody special. You know what I mean? Like I ain't nobody fucking special, bruh. But I do love it, man. I do love that you guys love the show. I do love that when you guys do see me on TikTok, or you do see me on the episodes, or whatever the case may be, you guys are like, holy shit, it's that guy, So, I don't know, I just wanted to talk about that. That was something that happened to me over the weekend, and I was very surprised. I just won't lie to you. I was very surprised. I'm like, wow, because I don't ever realize how much content I actually have out. You know what I mean? Like, I have a fuck ton of content. I have almost 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel alone. You know what I mean? And so it's one of those things where it's just like, and then when you look at my Instagram and you look at my TikTok, I probably have another like 500 or so clips to almost, 800 or so clips. And with all this content, it's like, no shit, people are going to like see it. No shit, people are going to recognize you, if they see you and all that kind of stuff. But it was just one of those things where it never really happened to me like that. And then when it did, they're like, wait a minute, I've seen you on TikTok. Wait a minute, I've seen you. And I'm just like, little old me. So I don't know. That was something I wanted to share with you guys. It does make me happy, and I'm very grateful for you guys' support and you guys able to give me that kind of moment in my life. Not a lot of people can really say that they've made something and done something that they love and enjoy, and they get recognized in real time for it. Just not a lot of people can say that. And the fact that I'm one of those people that can kind of say that just, I love it. I do. And I appreciate it so very much, man. You guys are always messaging me on Instagram. You guys are always messaging me on TikTok. Talking about the scenarios really helped you, or, you were going through the same thing, and, what I mean, it gave you some perspective in your own relationship. It gave you advice to give to your friend. Like, all of that stuff, dude. And I love it, man. I absolutely love it. And you guys are the reason why I do what I do. And it's the reason why I continue doing what I'm doing. Because I won't lie to you, man. If it wasn't for you guys, I probably would have quit this a long time ago. I will not lie to you, man. I was in my Discord talking about this because I remember I was getting into the second year of the show. And I was just so beat up. You know what I mean? You kind of get to that point where you're just like, man, nobody's watching. Nobody cares. You know, nobody. And I got a message, not a message, but I got a comment from one supporter, man. And she knows who she is. Because I told this to her directly. She was that one supporter and I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep making videos for you. You know what I mean? I was like, just for you, I'm going to keep making videos. And, you know, she told me how, like, she was having a hard time in life at the time, and, you know, how she was thinking about, like, ending her life because she just felt like she had nothing to live for. And my podcast kind of gave her something to look forward to. And now, you know, she is gone and she's doing great things. She's got friends and probably a boyfriend and doing cool stuff. And, you know, like, she was showing me pictures and videos of her and her family on vacation when they went to Vegas and they went to California. And for me to be able to change somebody's life like that so drastically, to me, it chokes me up every time. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna cry because I'm on camera, but it chokes me up because it's like, dude, to have that kind of impact on somebody's life to where you literally pulled them out of this dark hole and now they're able to just enjoy their life. To me, man, oh, it's the best feeling in the goddamn world. It really is. And now that I get more people sending me in, hey, this really helped me, hey, you really gave me some perspective, hey, you helped me help my friend, hey, you da. I get it more and more often, and it's the reason why I continue to do what I'm doing, even though I'm not on this massive scale. You know what I mean? I don't have tens of thousands of, you know, people watching and listening and things like that. I don't have that. You know, I monthly concurring, I have 2,000 people that listen to this podcast. To me, that is crazy. You know, that's wild to me that I have 2,000 concurring every single day. And it slowly goes up. You know, it was 2,100, then it was 2,300, then it was 2,500. I think right now we're up to like about 2,700 to 2,800 a month. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just like, you guys really make this happen. And I just can't thank you guys enough. I won't lie to you. I can't thank you guys enough. I have babbled on enough, man. Let's get on into today's thread. I really wanted to give you guys your flowers, though. All right, today's thread is, what's the most morally disgusting thing you've seen someone do? All right? So, car accident on the highway. A family of 4, including 2 children, were trapped inside. Some of us were trying to pull them out. They were bleeding all over. This despicable middle-aged guy stops his bike, comes near us, and we think he's trying to help. He puts his hand inside the car, like trying to pull them out, grabs a bag lying inside, pulls it out, and bolts on his bike before we could even realize what happened. No! Thankfully, we could save all of them and take them to the hospital. Still not an idea about that guy. This happened more than a decade ago, and I will still punch that guy in the face if I ever see him again. Fuck yeah! Stomp him out for me too! Bro, that's fucked up. These people are in the worst peril of their life right now, and you think to steal from them? Wow! Wow, bro! I ain't gonna lie to you, the moment I saw him grab a bag, I would have pulled him off his motorcycle. I hope he crashed. You know, I don't wish death upon him, but I just hope he crashed. Because that would have been beautiful, sweet mother karma. Being just like, bitch. You know, oh my God. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, man. Hey, I'm sure everybody listening is just like, punch him for me too. You know what I mean? Hey, facts. All right, what's the most morally disgusting thing you've ever seen someone do? Was working at a shop for a while during Christmas one year. One of my coworkers was talking about the gifts they'd bought for their kids. iPads, iPhones, bunch of expensive shit. Directly after talking about the gifts, she squeezed in the fact that she was very smart. And signed herself up for a low-income gift basket program so her kids could get more shit. They were very much middle class as her husband owned his own business. A week or so later, she made a comment to me about becoming a foster mom because the money is so good. I disliked her for plenty more reasons than that, but God, was she something else? See, now look, okay, I understand the whole like wanting to do the foster thing because you get paid and stuff like that. I get it. It's a business now. Is it morally correct? No, but it's a business now. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is, man. And it's terrible. It's horrible. But where I have a problem is the fact that you are signing up your kid or your kids, mind you, to get free shit when it should be going to people who actually need free shit. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. That's messed up. That's super fucked up. That means your kids are taking up slots in this charity over kids that actually need it. You know what I mean? Like, that's so messed up, bro. And then you're sitting there just being like, oh, yeah, I'm doing it because my kids get free shit. Bruh. That's not cool, man. That's not cool at all. And I hope karma gives you your comeuppance because, bro, that's just messed up. That's really messed up, man. There are people out there that need these things and you're just over here like, oh, my kid gets free shit. It's like, dude, and you're proud of that. Like, how could you be proud of something like that is my thing. You know, like, how could you be proud of that? Like, I would never be proud of something like that. You know, I wouldn't even be proud of it if I needed it. Say my kid was one of those kids that actually needed that stuff, right? I still wouldn't be proud because I would feel like I failed as a parent. Like, damn, I can't give my kids what they need. They have to get it from some charity or whatever the case may be, you know? And that's what I'm saying. It's like, and I'm sure you guys listening that are parents would feel the same way. You're like, fuck no, I wouldn't sign my kid up for some charity thing because I don't want to feel like I can't give my kid, you know, what they need. Like, bro, no way. Yeah, man. Wow. All right, what's the most morally disgusting thing you have ever seen someone do? My former roommate's sister, she married a man who had been in a debilitating car accident that left him paralyzed from the neck down, specifically so that he would legally adopt her daughter and she could get a trust for the kid from the money he was paid out due to the accident. She cheated on him the entire time they were married, then accused him of molesting her daughter and even coached the kid to tell the story to police. Wow. While they were together, she used his money to gamble, buy drugs, and get a 2-story home with no elevator. He would sit at the bottom of the stairs in his wheelchair, calling up to her to help him, and she'd just be playing online poker and ignoring him. Wow, bruh. How can you be such a shitty person, bro? My thing is, why'd you marry her? Okay, let's be real on that one. Why did you marry her? You know, like, I'm not going to blame full 100% on just her. You know what I mean? Because look, if we're going off percentages here, okay? If we're going off percentages here, she's definitely 80% wrong. But nigga, you got 20% wrong in this. And you want to know why you got 20% wrong in this? Is because, nigga, why are you dating a girl you know is going to take advantage of you? What, you thought she was just going to change her mind? You thought she was just going to be like, the bitch will feel bad for me and then, you know, we'll be all right. Like, no, bruh. No. She's going to take advantage and keep taking advantage. Oh, bruh. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Like, I just can't understand why people are so easily willing to get over on people. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no way. Like, look, for me, the only time I ever feel good or feel okay with getting over on people is when it's a corporation. Like, if I'm doing some old slick shit to get some free shit, I don't give a fuck. You make billions of dollars, get the fuck out of my face. But if it's an individual, fuck no, dude. I would never. My heart would be too heavy. You know what I mean? I would be upset at the fact that I can't do something for you. You know what I mean? So, again, that's one of those things where, like, I just don't know how people could get over on somebody like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro. Tough. Absolutely tough. All right, what's the most morally disgusting thing that you've seen someone do? A married couple set their house ablaze for insurance money, purposely kept their 2 dogs inside. It would look like it would look suspicious if the dogs ran off. They told us with exactly 0 remorse. Bro, I want to right in the face. Just right in the face. Right in the fucking face. Oh my, if that doesn't boil your blood like it is boiling mine right now, whoo, you're a horrible person. You know what I mean? Even people who don't like animals would sit there and be like, you're a fucking disgusting person. You let those dogs burn to death because you wanted insurance money. You thought this was a get a rich quick scheme. Bruh. Man, that's crazy, dude. Because me, like, if you guys don't already know, and I've said it in previous episodes, that I look at animals as kids. Okay, I look at animals as kids. I look at it like if you're gonna go adopt an animal, you're adopting a child. You just like how they say when you have a kid, you are responsible for it for the next 18 years. Well, when you get an animal, you're responsible for it for the next 15 years, and that's just the way that goes. You know what I mean? You have to discipline them, you have to watch over them, you have to feed them, you have to take care of them, all that shit. It's the same rules apply, bro. Ain't nothing changed. And so for me, it's like, they are not just animals, they are family members. You know, and the fact that they're family members means that you treat them as such. You know what I mean? Like, if you're leaving the house, bro, you make sure that, you know, they're taken care of and they have everything they need and everything is good. If there's a disaster going on in that house, man, you know, that you treat them as kids. They're the first you go for. Like, you go for the kids, the animals, and then the adults. Like, bruh. And that's what I'm saying. It's just like, if you don't have that kind of instinct in you, man, damn, you're just a terrible person. You just really are. You know, because you feel like other living beings are beneath you. That's just crazy talk. Absolutely crazy talk, bro. Damn, man. All right, on to our next one. What is the most morally disgusting thing that you have ever seen someone do? I used to be friends with this kid, now a guy, as he is not moved, who lived behind my parents. He's a year older than me. We went to the same comprehensive school, etc. When I was 15, he started sending me creepy messages on Facebook. Then he made a fake account of girls and added me to do the same. He was so thick that it was blatantly obvious it was him. He was pretty slow, so I assumed that he was very poorly exploring his sexuality, and as I knew him, I didn't see him as a threat nor wanted to embarrass him. Fast forward to 18 years old, I was just about to head out the door to a restaurant job I had, and I opened the door to a detective. She told me who she was looking for, me, and asked to come in. This guy had been contacting various other people asking for similar things, pictures, etc. He started targeting people younger than me and subsequently worked his way down the ages. The police wanted me to corroborate what they had found on his laptop. That's how they knew I was also a victim of this guy. Okay. He got 2.5 years for his crime back in 2014. He local Facebook groups again, as he is now fleecing his elderly grandma of her life savings. He's conned her out of over $12,000, and due to her dementia, he's managed to get power of attorney, power of attorney, or whatever it is, to make decisions on her behalf. I read about it on Facebook group, and the name posts him outright. Wow. So bro was an absolute pedophile, man. Bro was in the Epstein files, son. Like, bro, that's crazy. Low honor all day, bro. That's wild. That is wild. Imagine going to your work, right? And there used to be this kid that would bully you, and he's weird, and you're kind of like, I kind of know you're gay, but I'm not going to out you or nothing. It is what it is. Kids are going through shit, hormones and emotions and whatever. And then you go to your work, you open the door, and the detective is just like, yes, can I talk to you? Are you so-and-so? And you're just like, oh, shit, what the fuck did I do? And they're like, oh, do you know this person? You know what I mean? We traced it back, and apparently, they had contact with you in these years and at these times, blah, blah, when you were kids. Yeah, okay, the motherfucker has been, talking and soliciting minors and all this kind of stuff, and we wanted to know, like, what you knew about him. Bro, that shit would be crazy. You would just be like, no fucking way. Like, bruh, and I guarantee you, like, everybody has dealt with something like that where, they're like, holy shit, I used to know that guy and he's on America's Most Wanted or some shit. I remember that actually happened to me. They weren't on America's Most Wanted or nothing like that, but they were in the local news. And we were like, holy shit, I know that guy. So I was probably 19 years old at the time. It was definitely before I started working. Okay. It's definitely before I started working. I happened to be going out with family at the time, and we were at a restaurant, and you know how they have the TVs on and all that kind of stuff. So we had, we were just eating, doing our thing. They had the news on one of the TVs. I was watching it because you're bored, whatever, you're waiting for your food. I didn't see a picture of like the person that they're looking for. And, they were like, oh, we have a bolo out for this person, and the LAPD is looking for this person, this and so on and so forth. They have an investigation going on about, these things happen, so on and so forth. And I'm like, wait a minute, I know that guy. And I was like, he looks far too familiar, and I was like, it could be him, but it couldn't be him, you know what I mean? And then when they showed the name, I was like, oh my God, I know that guy. Yeah, I was like, holy shit, I fucking know this dude. Oh my God, I went to fucking high school with that guy, and I was actually cool with that guy. And I was like, oh my God. And then the crazy part about it is he ended up getting arrested, somewhere in like Walnut, California or whatever. And he got arrested. He went to jail for like 4 years. And then because I think he was an accessory to a murder. He didn't kill them. He just was an accessory to it. So that's why he got a lot less time, and then he got out on good behavior. How I know this is because when I started working my first retail job, he came into the store that I was working at, and I was like, oh shit, hey, is that you? And he was just like, oh, hey, what's going on, man? And I'm like, how you been? Mind you, this is 4 years later, so I completely forgot that, he was on the news and all that stuff happened. And I was like, how you been? Where you been? And he's just like, oh, dude, I just got out of jail. And I'm like, damn. Oh shit. Okay. What the fuck did you go to jail for? And then he told me, he was like, oh yeah, I got mixed up with the wrong guys. They caught me for accessory for murder. I got out on good behavior. I spent 4 years in there. And I'm just like,
hey yo, what the fuck?
Yo, oh shit. And I was like, wait a minute, I think I saw something about that. And he was just like, yeah, bro, I was on the run and this and that. I was like, oh my God, bro. Crazy work. Absolutely crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys. If you have a situation where, somebody in your local town or whatever the case may be, you used to go to school with them and they were on the news, or they, I don't know, killed somebody or some shit, or I don't know. They did some crazy shit. Let me know down in the comments, definitely. All right, let's get on to the rest of the thread. What's the most morally disgusting thing you've ever seen somebody do? At school, I saw a group of kids laughing at a boy because his dad died. One of those I would never get tired of punching you little twats moment. Facts, bro. I never understood why a parent dying would be funny to kids. You know what I mean? I never understood that. Never understood that. I remember there was a time where there was a guy that I used to be friends with, and he was kind of a weirdo kid. I won't lie to you. He was a little special, but he was my friend, and I cared about him. And he didn't really have a dad, and so he was just like, oh yeah, he would ask me shit, and I'm like, bro, look, I don't even know. You know what I mean? But I was like, I'll ask my dad, and he's like, okay, cool. And so, I would ask my dad weird questions, and he's like, what the heck, why do you want to know that? And I'm like, well, Dad, and my friend, he wants to know because he doesn't have a dad. His dad died. And he's like, oh, shit. And so then my dad would talk to me, and he would give me, the answers to his questions or whatever. And he's like, dude, if he ever, wants to come talk to me or whatever, definitely let him know. And I was like, okay, sure. And so I remember one time we were walking to my house because I had walked home, and my mom dropped me off at school, but I always walked home. And so we were walking to my house, and then there were these kids, but the way our school worked is you kind of had to go up a hill to get like to the main street, and then you can kind of go out. So we were walking up the hill, and at the top of the hill there was these kids, and they were just like making fun of him. And they're just like, oh yeah, look, he's got to walk with him because he's got no dad. All this and that, blah blah. And we're just like, and I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I'm like, that's not funny. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's not something to be laughing about, bro. Like, what the hell? Like, what if it was your dad that died, bro? And he's like, oh well, my dad is alive though. And I'm just like, all right, bro. I just never understood that. Like for me personally, I always think about that. I always think about, fuck, man, there's going to come a day when I lose my mom and dad. You know what I mean? Like, and oh my God, I pray to Jesus. I'll be like, please, hold on to them. Let them be here for as long as possible. All right? They don't need to go home yet. Because, dude, that to me is just like the craziest part. Just thinking about that, losing somebody to that degree, man, I would never survive. I would, what I mean? I remember we had a coworker, and he lost his mom, and we were like, bro, take all the time you need off, because bruh, I know for me, I would be absolutely wrecked and destroyed if my mom died. You know what I mean? Absolutely wrecked and destroyed. There's no fucking way. Like, I make my mom text me when I haven't seen her in a long time. I'm like, hey, bro, hey, what are you doing? Where are you at? You know what I mean? My mom's like, what do you mean where I'm at? I'm like, where are you at? I need to know where you at. The fuck you talking about? Man, I'm dead serious, bro. I be checking in on my moms because, even though I'm 30 years old, it's just like, bro, I still check in on my moms because you just never know, man. You never know, bruh. You absolutely never know. I remember I had a teacher one day. He was at school, and he was teaching us and this and that. And then he got a phone call. He stepped out, and, he took the phone call. And we're goofing off and doing all that kind of stuff. He walks in, and he just sits at his desk. And we're like, what the fuck's going on with him? Like, what the heck? And so we're just goofing off more. He's letting us talk. He's letting us throw shit. We're standing up and running around the classroom, all that kind of stuff. And I was pretty close with the teacher at the time. Like, he and I, I would get in trouble in his class a lot, but he was just like, I know you're a good kid. You just kind of got to stop being a dick sometime, this and that. And we were cool. We were all right. And so when the bell rang, everybody left, and I kind of stayed back with a couple of other students. And we asked, hey, what happened? Why you took the call and then you came back in? And he was like, I haven't talked to my mom in over 15 years, and she just died. And I'm like, holy shit. And so it rang a bell in my head. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie to you, that bell has never stopped ringing since that day. To where I'm like, bruh, I never want to be in a position where I stop talking to family members and people in my life that I really care about, because you never know. It's one of those moments where you're just like, I have not talked to that person in X amount of time, and they just passed away. They're gone. So, yeah, bro. Oh, man. Oh, it's tough. Absolutely tough. Jesus. All right. I'm going to do one more and then we'll end the thread. What's the most morally disgusting thing that you have seen someone do? I met a dude that was married and had 2 kids and just cheated on his wife every time he could with whoever he could. And I've never had so little respect for somebody, man. At the same time, though, it's like, I don't know why the wife didn't have respect for herself. You know what I mean? Like, that's such the tough thing about, like, dating and relationships and stuff like that. It's like, a lot of people, what they'll do, and I get it, you know, when you have kids with somebody, it makes things tremendously harder to kind of walk away from and break up and all that kind of stuff. But it's just like, you gotta have some self-respect, man. You gotta have some self-respect, bro. Because if you don't, dude, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, even if you do got kids, like, have some self-respect and be like, look, man, we ain't doing this no more. Like, if you want to cheat and go do all that stuff, you can go do that stuff by yourself, man. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not putting my time and energy into that. No fucking thank you. And that's what I mean. It's like she chooses to stay in that relationship, and that's where I'm kind of like, bro, yeah, he's a piece of shit, but it's like she's a piece of shit for accepting that. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't have to accept that, but you choose to, and that makes you a piece of shit. I ain't gonna lie, man. But you guys let me know what you think about that one in the comments, as well as all the scenarios, or all of the things that we gone over in there. Let me know if you have seen somebody do something just morally absolutely fucking terrible. If you've ever had any stories of, you know, things that we talked about in this thread, definitely put it down in the comments and let your boy know. All right, appreciate you guys. Let's get on to announcements, and then we'll get on into today's episode's scenarios. So patreon.com/Am I the Asshole podcast, get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show, like these lovely people did for today. All right, my nose is absolutely itchy. I don't know why. Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all the support. I really do appreciate you guys very, 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 very much for downloading the episodes every week, as well as rating us 5 stars. Everything helps out tremendously, and it's free. And if you want to help out even more on the free 99 side of things, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. All of that shit helps out tremendously. It really, really does. And it's for free, baby. All the links are down in the description. Check all that stuff out. Follow us. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you, and I love you guys. Without further ado, let's get into our first scenario for today. Okay, our first one is, am I the asshole for kicking my new husband out on our wedding night? I, 26 male, have recently married the love of my life, 29 male. I am gay and he is bi, and we've been together for 4 years. In that time, there have been occasions where I have permitted him to have one-night stands with others because he will sometimes want to do things that I am not comfortable with. However, in the months leading up to our wedding, he had started acting a little suspicious, sneaking out of the house, claiming to be running errands, and often having to go on business trips over the weekend to his company's headquarters across the country because of his managerial role. Because I didn't want to potentially spoil a surprise for the wedding or seem controlling, I just let it be. But it became apparent to me after a friend of mine told me about an hour before the wedding ceremony was due to start that my partner had been having a relationship with a woman. Okay. Me and my partner had a huge row over it, especially about how we were meant to get married if he did things like this and didn't tell me, as we could move past it if he did. He promised me that my friend has misunderstood the situation and that he loved me too much to do something like that. So we made up. The ceremony went ahead without any issues, and we had an amazing reception. And then we went back to our villa, which we had rented for a few days around the wedding before we went on our honeymoon. And I went into the in-suite to wash the makeup and shower out of my hair product. Okay, shower out the products in my hair is what he means. Used by the stylist. When I came out, he was in the living room. The villa was a one-story, on the phone to someone, and he very hurriedly hung up when he saw me. Skeptical, I asked him who it was, and he was clearly reluctant, so I firmly asked again. He told me that it was the woman that he claimed to not have been seeing. Turns out he had. This prompted us to have another massive fight, throughout which he insisted that he'd broken things off with her a few weeks before the wedding and swore he only had eyes for me and that she had called him. I told him he couldn't stay in the villa and that he had to find somewhere else to stay for the night. I insisted I needed time and space to cool off and think things through, so he left and found a hotel. The next day, we talked things through and made up. Flash forward a few weeks today, we're back from our honeymoon on which he caused no issues. But now that we're back home, he started being really bitchy about me kicking him out and that I should have let him stay. So am I the asshole? My thing is look, I think because he's bi and because you kind of let him have the one night stands and all that, invited a lot of that. Look, I am blaming you because, look, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm not necessarily blaming you and all that. Nah, I'm blaming you. I am. I'm going to keep it 100% with you. Look, I'm not one of these YouTubers or podcasters or whatever, or people that, like, sugarcoat shit. Like, I'm just going to tell you how it is, man, and you take the advice how you take it. You know what I mean? My thing is you invited this type of behavior from him to happen, so he thought it was okay. And since he thought it was okay, he pushed the boundaries to it. You may have just been like, hey, I'm just okay with hookups. And he's like, okay, cool. And so he looks at it like, well, yeah, I'm talking to this person and, we're doing our thing, but we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. We're just hooking up, but hooking up with extra steps. You know what I mean? Like, we're hooking up with extra steps. I'm hooking up with her. But we talk and text and stuff like that, like normal people do. So that should be okay. But you don't see it that way, or the friend didn't see it that way. Friend looked at it like, nah, man, it looks like they was holding hands and kissing and all that kind of stuff. It didn't look like a little hookup to me, So again, my thing is you invited this kind of behavior to happen. And that's why, and I get it. He's bi, so you kind of wanted to respect that. But if I'm being real with you, bro, even if your partner is bi, a lot of the times it's best to have solid boundaries. You know what I mean? Things you can and cannot do. If you're gonna allow some open shit, you need to make sure that you got all the T's crossed and all the I's dotted. Because if you don't, dude, your partner is going to find loopholes. Your partner is going to find ways to kind of get around, what it is that we agreed on. They're going to try to find things and be sly and slick, but we're just hooking up. That's not my girlfriend. This and that. But you know what I mean? Like, they're always going to have these little like back pocket things in their mind. So again, for you, my thing is you invited that type of behavior because you didn't set strict boundaries of what it is that you really wanted. Because once you do that, then he kind of understands, like, all right, cool, well, I can have sex with her, I can go over to her house and hook up, but I can't take her out to dinner. You know what I mean? I can have sex with her, I can, do all this stuff, but, we can't be cuddling and holding hands and kissing and doing all that. That's what I mean. And obviously it's going to be different for you. It is. It's going to be different for you. Whatever it is that you feel would be your boundaries that you need to put in place to that is up to you. But my main point stands is that you invited this kind of behavior in there. You didn't put the boundaries down. And so he just kind of went ballistic with it. And I think that would be the way that you would have to fix this, because even when you guys fought and you made up the next time, you didn't put any boundaries down. You didn't. You still didn't put any boundaries down. You still didn't. You guys probably talked and, you probably just had some old superficial ass fucking mistake. Oh, you're my absolute soulmate and, it's fucked up that you're doing this and whatnot. And I can't believe that you're doing this to me. Blah, blah, blah. Look, I'm sorry. I didn't think that you would take it this way. And the fact that you took it that way, it does hurt me and makes me feel upset that you're hurt and that I'm doing that to you and I shouldn't. It's like, oh my God, but it doesn't change the fact that it hurts. Like, I can't believe you would do that to me, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like, you're having very surface level conversations, and then you guys are like, oh, we'll get past this. Instead of being like, this fucking really hurt me. And if you're going to continue to do this bi shit, X, Y, and Z cannot happen. A, B, and C, I'm not for it. You know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of constructive. I get it. Emotions are high and you guys aren't really thinking like that and whatnot and so on and so forth. But at some point, you guys should have thought about that. Like, even on the honeymoon, when you were saying everything was hunky dory, fantastic. You still should have had that conversation. You know? Why? Because you guys are in a good position. You guys are like talking to each other. You guys are, at a calm point. So you're able to kind of come at him and he's not riled up or emotional and just be like, hey, look, at the villa, I look at it like I understand that you're talking to that woman. And that's okay that you're talking to that woman because I understand that you're bi and I want to let you do your thing. But we need to have shit in place. Okay? I can't have you doing this, and this. I don't want to see this, and that. Those are the boundaries that I'm setting. If you're not cool with that, then look, I just don't think that really this is going to work out between you and I. I really don't. I want it to work out, and that's why I'm communicating this with you. And that's kind of what should have happened, because at that point, his defenses are down. He's less, emotionally charged, and so he can be like, you know what? I didn't know that was making you feel that way, and I'm sorry. I didn't know that what I was doing was hurting you, so I'll make sure to be more thoughtful, okay? I won't do that. I won't call her as much, or I won't be on the phone with her as much, or whatever boundary you set. You know what I mean? So that's my thing. You guys let me know what you think about it in the comments, though. On to our next one. My fiance of 6 years has been talking to some guy in another state, sending nudes, saying she wants to move to him. Oh. Cooked. Absolutely cooked. Hey guys, so I'm a 22 female and my fiance of 6 years has been talking to some guy in another state. Not just talking, like full on sending nudes and talking about moving to him. I found out by accident when her phone was unlocked and I saw their messages. I don't know what to do with this information, like it's a punch to the gut because we've been together since forever. I'm not even mad, just confused. How do I even process this? You leave. Look, I've said this multiple times. It's been a while since we've had like kind of a lesbian situation going on. But in times that I do have lesbian situation scenarios, what I always try to inform the girl is I would say most. I'm gonna be honest. Most women are not really lesbians like that. They're just not. Now, a very small minority of them are, and they're about that life. But most girls are not about that life. Like if you're a lesbian, right? You don't have to be a stud. You don't have to be any of that. You know what I mean? You can even be still girly, but you still really like girls, so on and so forth. And you meet another pretty girl and you guys have a good time and whatnot. And you guys go to the bed and you guys start licking each other's coochies and all that kind of stuff. It's fun. It's silly. It's this and that. You start to catch feelings. The girl is going to accept those feelings. Why? Because she looks at it like, I want to be a girl's girl. I want to support her. I want to be there for her. This and that. While you think you're in love, she's just being supportive of a friend. You know what I mean? And just kind of having some sexual fun in between that. So that's why I say it's like a lot of times when you're a lesbian girl, you really need to be careful of, is this girl just kind of here to have a fun time and, just be silly and supportive? Or is she actually in this the same way that I am? Like, that's something that you need to look at first, because the girl who is just being supportive and being there and, licking a little coochie every once in a while, well, for her, she's like, I'm having fun with this girl and I enjoy, us doing our thing or whatever, but I would never marry a man. A woman. I would never marry a woman. I would never be in a serious relationship with a woman. I'm still looking for my man. I am still looking for my Prince Charming. I'm still looking for the guy that is going to be my end game. Because, bitch, you're not my end game. You're just this, I'm having fun doing my thing. And so since they are like that, for me, I look at it like, okay, I understand that, this girl ain't really lesbian like that. So I'm going to be honest with myself and I'm going to leave. It's just that simple. Yeah, it really is. And I get it. You want it to be more complicated. You want it to be this whole little, but she's got this and thinking about that. And, quantum physics to the moon, spin, diversity, left and right, triangular. No, it's just the cut and dry of she's not a lesbian. She was with you to have fun, support you, be there for her girl. You know what I mean? The emotions were high and it's fun. It's great, this and that. Because you're like, we've been together since forever. And it's like, sure, you guys could have been friends for 10 years. And you over here thinking you're in love and you're in a relationship for the last 10 years. And she treating you like boo-boo the fool. You know what I mean? She over here giving a BJ to Tom and bouncing on Ricky's dick. And, she was at Chad's yesterday. She hit up Tyrone last month. Like, bruh, she ain't fucking with you like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, again, I get it. You wanted it to be this crazy scenario. This is but it's not. It's just a simple fact that you need to leave. She's not lesbian like that. And it just is what it is. Again, just giving you perspective. Take that how you will. You let me know what you think about it in the comments. All right? All right. Let's get it on to our next one. Am I overreacting? Boyfriend Snapchatting 18-year-old coworker 5 days after having a baby.
Damn.
Okay. So long story short, I 25 female, my partner 27 male. I've been together since I was 17 and him 19. He's been working as a cook at a restaurant and they've been in need of cooks to train. So one of the waitresses got her 18-year-old daughter hired in to train on the line. He's been working with her for about 3 months now, and I'd like to say he's the type that tells me everything, and he does, hold on. And he does usually talk down on this girl quite a bit. And I always felt off about that. And then he started giving her rides home after closing shift because she doesn't have a car. I didn't mind that at all since the way he talked about her made it seem like there was nothing to worry about. Plus, she's 9 years younger than him. Well, I just pushed our baby out not even 5 days ago, and his phone's been blowing up nonstop lately, and I thought it was probably just his friends and family asking about our newborn. But something told me to look, so I did. And lo and behold, it's the 18-year-old he's been working with. I don't know how to approach it, but being postpartum does not help, and I can't help but sit here and cry because I didn't think that he'd be like that. Am I the asshole? Or am I overreacting, I should say? Hell nah! Hell nah, bro. Hell nah. Look. I would normally give the advice of just like, hey girl, like, you know what I mean? You got to make yourself more attractive to him and appealing and this and that. No, bitch, you pushed that baby out 5 days ago. 5 days ago, bruh. Like, it would be different if this was maybe like 3 months, okay? If it was like 3 months in having the baby and stuff like that. All right. At about that time, it's like, all right, you should at least be doing little things to try to, keep yourself up or whatever the case may be. I know a lot of women are going to be mad at me for saying that. But again, it's like, this is why, you run into these issues. This is why, because you got to realize, look, when your wife gets pregnant, you know what I mean? A lot of dudes tend to cheat on average because of the fact that the sexual decline for the woman, or sexual intimacy declines for the woman. Obviously, it stays high for the man because he ain't pregnant. You know what I mean? After having the baby, that then kind of continues. Why? Because, the woman looks at it like, oh, bro, we got a baby. I'm making the baby my entire life. This is my entire existence, which I get it 1000%. It should be. But the sexual aspect of the relationship still declines. You know what I mean? And so it further frustrates the guy. So then what does he do? He's like, fuck it, bro. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna do that. You know, and is it in no way, shape, or form like the right thing to do, the right way to go about it? Hell no. Hell no. But my thing is like about 3 months in, at that point, you know, that's when you kind of gotta start, you know, doing your thing. But I think he was just so deprived, you know, that's why he's justifying that to himself. You know, talking to this girl and, you know, potentially setting things up with her and maybe having sex with her. I don't know. You didn't really tell us what the text messages said. So since we don't know what they said, we don't kind of know what they were talking about. But let's be real. We all know he was trying to smash. Okay. Let's keep that 100 P. All right. You know, we know homeboy was trying to smash. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's kind of the angle I that he's coming from. Not saying that it's right, but that's just kind of where he's coming from with that. It's just more of like, he's probably been sexually frustrated for a hot minute because of this baby. But my thing is now that the baby is back, it's like, or now that it's here, my advice for you, again, I don't think you're overreacting at all. I want to keep that crystal clear because, you know, y'all motherfuckers like to misconstrue shit sometimes. My thing would be to gather family. You know what I mean? I would gather family around you and his side of the family as well as your side of the family. You know what I mean? And you all talk to him. Okay, moms, stepmoms, or I'm sorry, not stepmoms, mother-in-law, dad, father-in-law, brothers, sisters, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, all that. Get them all together and you guys all confront him. The reason being is because you're in postpartum right now. Okay, you're not going to be thinking straight. You're going to be easily talked into. He's going to be just spewing bullshit and it might make sense to you. And then you're kind of like, oh, well, whatever. And, you know, or it may get to a point where you just don't even want to deal with it. So you agree with him. There's going to be a lot going on in your head. You're just you're like a lizard that just molted its skin. You're like a snake that just molted its skin, you know, and you're vulnerable right now. And that's what I'm saying is like, he can easily turn that vulnerability back on you and kind of manipulate your bitch ass into something. And that's why I say get the friends in the family. Because when you get the friends in the family, guess what? They're not going through postpartum. You know, they'll be able to help you. All right? They'll be able to do something for you. And they'll be able to think a lot more straighter. They'll have an outside perspective. They'll be able to really talk to him. And then this is the kicker. The fact that it's his parents, his brothers and sisters, your parents, your brothers and sisters, friends possibly. The fact that these people are telling him that what he is doing is wrong will go to show, and it amplifies the hurt that he has put upon you. You know what I mean? And I guarantee you he's going to be looking at himself like, damn. Fuck, I really fucked up. What I'm doing is terrible. And then at that point, you know, if he feels remorseful and you guys are, you know, willing to work some shit out, you're willing to work it out. If you decide to leave there, then you decide to leave there. That part is on you, though. You know what I mean? My advice would be to get friends and family all together. You guys talk to him about the situation of, bro, you're cheating on me. We just had a baby 5 days ago. Like, what the fuck? Friends and family, you know, pitch in and talk about it and give advice and all this kind of stuff. And after that, that's up to you, girl. You know what I mean? The ball is in your court. Fate is in your hands at that point. You know what I mean? So that's my advice to you. You guys let me know what you think about that one in the comments. All right, this is going to be our last scenario for today's episode. If you got this far in the episode, thank you. I love you, and I appreciate you, okay? I really do. You're special. You're the best around. Nothing's ever going to keep you down. All right, if you're going to work right now, you're going to kill it. You're going to kill it, motherfucker. If you're going home, you're going home. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say. You're going home. You know, tell the world that I'm going home. All right, let's get into our last scenario for the episode. What do? My best friend's boyfriend broke up with her because he wanted to date me. Ooh. Oh, are you going to be a homie? Oh, well, he's being the homie hopper, if I'm being real with you. But are you going to accept the homie hopping is my question. We are not even teenagers anymore. I'm 30, she's 27, and he's 35. I had absolutely no idea he has any feelings for me. We rarely hang out together. Both me and him love reading thrillers and love being busy all the time. So this is something we've had in common. But he never texted me, never made any move on me. He just told her he wants to break up because he is very attracted to me. And it's not fair for her. I am single, but not interested in him. And even if I was, I would never do that to her. The issue is that she wants to cut all contact with me. I asked her why. She doesn't think he was cheating on her with me, but still feels angry with me because you want to know what's going through her mind. She looks at it like, bitch, you're only my friend to make yourself look hotter. That's what she's thinking. She's like, wow, this bitch ain't my friend. She's my friend so she can look hotter by comparison. I am the duff, the designated ugly fat friend. Oh my gosh, she had an epiphany like a motherfucker. She was just like, oh my God, I'm the duff. I am the girl that girls are friends with so they look hotter by comparison. Why did I get to date the guy? Because he was only using me to get to her. That's the only reason why I'm getting dick. Bruh. I mean, it's just true though. It's mad. That's. I'm not saying that that's what you're doing. Okay, don't get it twisted. That's not what I'm saying that she's doing. The girl that wrote in. That's not what I'm saying that you're doing. What I am saying is that is her mindset. That is what she is thinking in her head. Okay, that's why she wants to cut contact with you, because she looks at it like, as long as I'm friends with you, dudes are just going to use me to get to you. And I don't want that. All right. That's where I'm coming from, you know? So, yeah. I wanted to make that clear. But, yeah, that's just what she's thinking. You know, you're not in the wrong. You're not at all. No. You didn't do anything wrong. I get it. Hey, you looking cute out there. You doing your thing. Got your titties out. Got your booty out. Got a great body or something. I don't know. You got something going on. You know what I mean? Something is making them. You know what I mean? So, look, you're not doing wrong. The reason being is because you even were like, no, I ain't even interested in him like that. Like, even if I was interested in bro, I wouldn't date him because of you. Why would I do that to you, my friend? You know, and you just need to talk to her. You need to tell her, hey, look, no. Like, you're more important to me than he is. Like, I don't give a fuck about that dude. I'll stop talking to him tomorrow. Like, I wasn't even talking to him anyway because that was your boyfriend. Like, I respect you. I care about you. You're my friend. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about these dudes out here. I really don't. I don't give a fuck about them. I care about you. You're my friend, and that's all that matters. You tell her that, because then what you're doing is you're reassuring her that the crazy shit that she's thinking in her mind, where she's just like, oh my God, I am the duff. Oh my God, you're just friends with me so that way you look hotter by comparison. Like, bro, she's going crazy ballistic on her mind. You got to be the one to kind of step in and reassure her that that's not what's going on. And once you do that, I think everything will be great, man. Everything will be fantastic. All right. So you guys let me know what you think about today's episode, all the scenarios, as well as the thread we went over today. Juicy episode. I love you and appreciate you guys so very much, man. And I will see you guys on Thursday for our Soap I Say book. I am excited because we are almost done with that book. I know what our next book is going to be. I'm excited. It is a long time recommended book. I won't lie to you. Yeah, it's a very long time recommended book, but I'm excited to get into it. Hope you guys are too. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Love you all. Peace.